Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going deep, right inside your mouth. We're going to uncover the absolutely wild engineering challenge behind fixing something as simple as a cavity. And trust me, it's a fascinating story about architecture, cutting-edge science, and just incredible force. So let's just jump right in with a bit of a puzzle. What on earth does your tooth have in common with a 1,300-year-old cathedral? I know, it sounds a little out there, but the answer? Well, it pulls back the curtain on this brilliant, ancient design principle that is literally the only thing keeping your teeth from shattering every single time you bite down.
Okay, so to really get why this engineering is so critical, you first have to understand the world your teeth live in. And let's be clear, we're talking about a battlefield.
I mean, just think about it. Your mouth is in non-stop war zone. You've got these immense cyclical biting forces. It's constantly wet. The acidity, the pH is all over the place depending on if you're drinking soda or coffee. Then you've got bacteria just relentlessly attacking everything. And on top of all that, you hit it with extreme temperature shocks, from a boiling hot soup to ice cold water. It is one of the most hostile environments you could possibly design for any material to survive in. So how in the world does a healthy tooth actually put up with this daily beating? Well, it's because it's not just a simple piece of bone. It is an absolute marvel of hidden architecture. And the secret sauce? It's a principle that master builders figured out centuries ago: structural continuity. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. When you have an unbroken, continuous structure, it's just amazingly strong because it can take any force you throw at it and spread it out over a huge area. And this is where it gets so cool. Look at this comparison. On the left, the Dome of the Rock from way back in 691 AD. Its strength? It comes from that perfect, unbroken dome that distributes all the weight evenly. Now look at the molar on the right. It's doing the exact same thing. That outer rim of the tooth, the occlusal rim, it acts just like that dome. It takes the crushing force of your bite and just spreads it harmlessly across the whole tooth. It's genius. But what happens when that perfect structure is broken? Because what we call a cavity, it isn't just a little hole. No, it's a catastrophic failure of that entire brilliant structure. See, when decay punches a hole in the tooth, it shatters that structural continuity. And now that bite force has nowhere to go. Instead of spreading out, all of that pressure zeroes in on one tiny weak spot right at the edge of the cavity. It becomes a massive stress point just waiting to crack. Let's break it down with some super simple physics. In a healthy tooth, the force of your bite, let's call it F, is way less than the tooth's ability to resist that force. It's R for resistance. You've got a massive safety buffer. But a cavity, it just eats away at that resistance. It weakens the tooth until you hit this terrifying tipping point, where the force of a normal bite is now equal to the tooth's resistance. That safety margin, poof, it's gone. And here it is. The final act. One hard crunch on something, and the force is now greater than the resistance. The structure fails, the tooth fractures, that tiny little cavity has just caused a complete catastrophic failure. And this brings us right to the heart of the dentist's engineering dilemma. It's not just about patching a hole, right? The real question is, how do you repair this broken structure in the middle of that battlefield we talked about without accidentally making things even worse? Well, for a long time, the standard approach was pretty aggressive. You had to drill away not just the decayed part, but also all the weakened enamel around it. You had to get back to a solid foundation to make sure the filling would actually stay put. But here's the catch-22. By removing that weakened enamel, you might be destroying the last bits of the tooth's natural architecture, that all-important supportive rim. So you fix the decay, sure, but you've created a much bigger, more complex problem. A huge cavity that's way harder to restore properly. So that's the classic dilemma. But it makes you think, what if there was a smarter way to do this? What if you had a material that could work with what's left of the tooth instead of forcing you to work against it? And this is where modern material science really steps in with a beautiful solution. There's a whole new class of smart materials, often called glass hybrids, that were basically invented to solve this exact engineering problem. These things are a total game changer, and here's why. First, they can chemically bond to the damaged part of the tooth, not just the super healthy part. That's huge. Second, when they harden, they don't shrink and pull on the tooth, which avoids creating new stress and new cracks. Because of that, the dentist can preserve way more of the tooth's original structure. And get this, they're also active defenders. If your mouth gets too acidic, the filling itself releases things like calcium and fluoride to help fight off new decay. It's incredible. And really, the key takeaway here is summed up perfectly by Dr. Khaled Aly Nour. This tech lets dentists be so much more conservative. They can save teeth that, in the past, would have needed a crown or some other major work, all because they can now preserve those weakened but structurally vital parts of the tooth.
So the next time you even think about a cavity, try not to just picture a drill. Instead, picture this amazing biomechanical puzzle that connects your own molar all the way back to ancient cathedrals. It's a problem that's being solved not just with medicine, but with some really elegant and intelligent engineering. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? What other big health problems could we solve if we started thinking less like biologists and more like engineers?